Welcome to my channel, my beautiful soul family, the Mystical Hummingbird. I'm happy that you're here with me today, and I hope that you're all having a beautiful beginning of a new cycle. The autumn is here, and one of my favorite seasons, if I should say. I have had so many thoughts the last little while that I'm a writer. I usually write all my thoughts down. I write my dreams. I write experiences, and I have to tell you that I wondered what I was going to bring to you today. And I asked Spirit yesterday, because I don't have much time to prepare my time with you. I make time, but this last week has been pretty busy. And so I'll share with you an experience that because this is a spiritual channel, and I am relating to you my life with Spirit, my experiences with Spirit, how my life has it has been evolving. And I have, some days ago I was thinking that I have chosen the path not many people take, because the spiritual path, it can take a lot of you, from you, but then also gives you a lot. But because I am a spiritual person since I was a little being, a little girl, I have sought God, and I have I want to say awakened, and many times throughout my life I've awakened to my own self, to the realization of who I am, because I ask many questions. I am very inquisitive. I can't just settle and because you say, or someone says this or that, and this is such a way, and this is this, and I need to know for myself. And then I was thinking, when I woke up 2 days ago, because I write everything down, are we living, am I living my life intentionally? Okay, that's for me to answer for myself. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to bring this, because I've chosen this path of least, that not many people take, but then I add to it the intention, because I woke up with that question in my mind the other day, and I wanted to share with you the thoughts that I have found. I thought, what is intention? Okay, of course, we all think that when we make a conscientious decision about something with firm determination, and we commit ourselves to a cause, to our own cause, or whatever it may be, having expectations from ourselves, and then the desired choice that we make. So for this was and is a deliberate choice in my eyes that we make. And so by acting with deep knowing or conviction of this awareness, of this purpose, that we are honoring ourselves. So when we become deliberate in our purposes, we will attain and reach the goals that we set out for ourselves. And in a way, we become our own, I want to say, advocates of our lives. Because I'm telling you, no one out there, no one No matter how much you think they love you, they're not going to do work for you. They're not going to get in your mind and say, oh, what makes them tick or what triggers them. Oh, I want to do this so I can make them happy. And no one gives a red rat's ass. Everybody's out for themselves. And it actually should be that way, in a way where you, where we, where we, when we decide and have an intention about something, to create something for ourselves to better our lives and the lives of those around us. So we do a great service to ourselves, and then we take away, by taking away, for example, things that no longer service us, whatever that may be. That, for example, it could be addictions, it could be whatever. There's so many types of addictions out there. People suffer from drug abuse, all types of drug abuse, not just, for example, alcohol. It can also be drugs themselves because of whatever pains, whatever it may be. Now, it takes a very strong person to decide, you know what, this no longer services me. I no longer want to be in this. And that we can also be addicted to people. And we stay in relationships because people, either because it does financially well for us by having this person in our lives, and or just because you're just used to them. And addiction can become an obsession without, like, for example, people that are alcoholic, they cannot stop drinking unless they have to go through a therapy, special therapy, to rid their bodies and then their mind. And why do they drink? Why do they smoke? Whatever it may be. And I know some people that I knew a person, I no longer have knowledge of them where they're at in the world, but they would smoke 16 packs a day. Do you have any idea? 16 packs a day? I'm not judging anyone. We all are going through this. Excuse me. Excuse me. I needed to sneeze. We all go through in our lives through addictions. It could be any kind. It can be any type. It can be, like I said before, when you create an intention and decide for yourself, okay, this is the day, this is the day, this is the day I begin a new life. So you start making a plan. So you have an intention of having what? A better life. And who gives you that? You. We give ourselves a better life or a worse life. And we do all that by ourselves, so we need to become responsible and not blame anyone for the outcomes. Now, when the outcomes are wonderful, wonderful. When the outcomes are not so good, then you have what? Choices. What choices do you want to take? What choices do you want to make your life better? And no one can do that for you except yourselves. It doesn't really matter what other people think of us, but sometimes it's really hard for people to stand for their truth and be strong enough to go against the world. In other words, I remember Dr. Seuss, when my kids they went to school. I remember that little book, and there's one specific little saying that Dr. Seuss would say, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." It tells you right there. Think so much of yourself that you're going to make a decision that you're going to want to make your life better. And what a beautiful thing it is that we can say to ourselves, hey, I am making my life. I'm recreating my world. There's no such thing as living in a lack of anything. I am a great advocate for the power of the mind. And you may think, well, how is our minds going to have power? Well, you have a will. If you have such a deep will to continue to have addictions, imagine how great that will is. And when you break that will yourself and think, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. This does not service me. Physically, emotionally, mentally, and every other way and facet. And you start thinking, I want to do something for myself. Something that I will be proud of. Something that will make me feel that I am a person of worth. And this is what you need to do is to, and I go back to the same thing always, to go self-love. Self-love, people. Self-love is the more pure, the purest, the most beautiful thing that you can do for yourself. Most people think that they have to be complete to enter in a relationship, that they will be completed when they enter a so-called relationship, when in fact the only relationship you should be invested in is your own. Become so loving of yourself that to get to that point, we need to forgive ourselves from all our silliness. And I call it silliness because I'm nice to me. Yes, I've made mistakes like all of you. I'm not going to come here and tell you of all the things that I've done wrong in my life. I don't give out my age. I don't. But it's just a number. Age is just a number, people. But I've lived many years. Now I'm going to tell you, all the years that I've lived, yeah, I've done some things that I was not very proud of. But when I acknowledged them and I went to my God, to my Abba, and presented them to him, and I finally forgave myself and understood why it happened. Why things, I have to understand the whys. If I don't, then I will continue and continue and continue to seek and to search that why. For me, it's necessary. So when you find and you come into this common ground with yourself, and you see the best part of you, and then you can stand upright and fill your cup first and be intentional about everything you do. See, you decide if you're going to have a nice, beautiful day tomorrow. How? When you decide to have a beautiful day today. And how do you do that? Change your attitude. Sometimes, I'm telling you, life sometimes is not on La La Land. But I will say, for me, many, many times it's a La La Land, because my life is very easy in many ways. But for the most part, I have peace. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the world. I know what I'm here for. I know that I'm loved. The Creator loves me. And I love myself. And I say that with all humbleness. I am not better than anyone. There are amazing people out there. There are amazing souls all over the world. But there's no one like you. And how are you going to find that? Getting to know you. Intentionally. Now, intentionally, when I say this, for example, no one tells you what you're going to eat tomorrow or what you're going to plan for your menu for the week. I'm a very structured person. I like to know what, because also the job that I have, I need to make plans for my patient, and And I've done that too when I was a mother. And I mean, I'm still a mother, but when I was at home and I had kids, I would prepare menus for the week, and that way it was easier for me if I had to go to work or when I worked, because I worked a lot. So I would, on Saturdays, I whenever I had a moment, I would sit down and write down the menus and the things and the ingredients I needed for to make these menus, these dishes. Because even before I was divorced, I planned. I usually would plan sometimes monthly and then other times just weekly. But that was the intention. And that made my life so much easier because then the foods were prepared. If I had to make like sauces, like spaghetti sauce and things like that that were easy, I could just take them out and cook some pasta for the kids, or they could do it themselves when I wasn't home. And so I alleviated the work for me. So I did that, and that was intentionally. Also for me, like when I don't have a big huge garden anymore. I have just little pots here, not pots and pans, pots here and there. But I don't longer have, like I would use lots of my time. My free time would only go to my garden. My fingernails were completely. I had to cut them the other day too because I was doing gardening, and I don't like when they get old. I mean, I don't care if they get dirty, but it's just hard cleaning them. And then I broke a couple. So I'm cutting them off, and they grow fast. Anyway, I don't like fake nails. I don't like anything like that. But anyways, I have to tell you, when I did have my garden, so in the season now in autumn, I would go and I gather all of my seeds, and I had them out to dry the last month, like in August. I had seeds from the things that I had planted. If I had planted cucumbers or tomatoes, and I actually, from each tomato plant that gave me tomatoes, I had these lovely organic, they were kind of black. They were just a specific kind of tomato, and they were so delicious. So the first tomato that came and grew, I let it grow as big as it could. And then my father taught me, then you slice it and then you remove all the meat and then save the seeds. And I dried them. So I had all my little things all in order and for the following year. And I would take all my tomato seeds, my cucumber seeds, all kinds of peppers and sweet basil, everything like that. So I had it in order. So when the next spring came, I had my starters because I had a little. I brought an indoor little, like what do they call it? A greenhouse, a little greenhouse inside my living room. It kind of took a lot of space because I had a little apartment, and I started them in trays. So I started all of my seeds, all the babies, the beans, everything. And I spent hours out in the garden when I had the time. And then I had a system to water, and I had the loveliest vegetables, and it gave me such pleasure because I adore Pachamama. Pachamama and me were like this. Um, Pachamama is the goddess of the earth for me, and she's the feminine part of God for me. And she supplies us with everything. She supplies us with her rains. She supplies us with her soils. She supplies us with our foods. She supplies us with our water. She supplies us with everything to sustain the communities, to sustain Mother Earth, to sustain the world. Look at these flowers. I have had these, I want to say, for about a week and a half. No, it's going on 2 weeks. And they're just as fresh as ever. And it looked like someone painted them with a little brush. I'm enamored with Mother Earth, with my Pachamama. I love everything about her. And if I could, you guys, I would be a nomad. I think that I would have a place to live in a specific area where there were many trees and hidden from everything else. And I would live there, but then I would travel the world and go different places and live my life different places, but then I would always come back to this specific place um, to experience probably the winter, because I love the silence of winter. But I love the crispness of autumn. Autumn has a certain romantic sense to it. The colors that she brings, it's like someone painted with a palette, and the different beautiful oranges and bright reds and yellows, and there's like this mystical feeling around in the air when you're driving or you go for walks in the mountains. Anyway, I just tell you that by living my life with intention, when I look back and see, and I've chosen this path as the less traveled path actually, I keep myself to myself a lot. I don't have a huge group of friends, and that's by choice, because I am in this journey of the self that I find so fascinating, and I found new facets to myself. When I don't know if you, maybe there are some that think like me in that order. Um, when you are eating a fruit, let's say watermelon, not all watermelon taste the same. Some of them don't have a taste. They're like insipid. They're very like flavorless. Don't have much. They look beautiful, and then you take a bite, and they're neither sweet or any. They're just blah. So I find that when you eat any type of a fruit, or when you read a book, there's always something special within that fruit that gives you a special feeling. When you read a book, that gives you a special feeling too. So there's things hidden. Like when I've told you before, and I explained to you how the rose is with her petals, how they entwine and they go into each other like this. They go inside and they go inside, and they form this circular. And I always think of I think of nature. I think of the cycles. I think of all the seasons. They go around and around. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the time, but time is irrelevant anyway, but it's flying like this. And what is happening? There are so many things happening right now that I don't think many are aware of, and many, I think many are as well, but I don't know how much. But I read somewhere, and I don't know who said it. Life is the art of drawing without an eraser. But I feel that we can erase, like regrets. I feel that we can. Life is an art, and no one can create your life. No one. No one. You can read thousands of books, you can watch thousands, hundreds of movies, and think, oh, I love that. But no one's going to take the time to make your life special and exquisite. For me, life has to be lived exquisitely. Why not? Why not? And I feel that the boredom of people, the boredom of life itself, is because they don't use this, their God-given gift, their imagination. Imagination is key. Imagination, like Albert Einstein said, creativity is intelligence having fun. And the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. And so to have a specific feeling of intentional feeling of wanting to make your life better, you need to start listening to your heart and make heart and mind coherence and be one with yourself, so that you can come forward whether you believe in God or not. Because if you don't believe in God, it's okay. Just the fact that you are and you're a loving human being, I rest my case. Because you will find this being along the way, because it's in your DNA, whether you like it or not. We are God beings. We've been given like when you do a starter for sour bread and you share it with everybody, you put a little bit of something specific in there. And so when you share it, everybody gets a little bit of it. All the people, and then those people, they make their bread, and that person will make some more to give it to another one, another one to another. And it's the most loveliest bread. I love sour bread though, especially the homemade one. I don't like nothing store-bought. Sometimes I don't have the time, so I have to myself bake and cook and things, which I love to do, but and I dream of having this amazing oven, outdoors. These special ovens that you can bake in high temperatures and bake breads there and pizza, but one day. Back to this. I feel that when we are intentional with our lives, we are dream weavers. We weave our lives with our thoughts. And what kind of life do you want? What kind of life do you see having? What kind of experiences do you want to have? Do you want to be a world traveler like me? Hell, yes. I am the type of person, I can't do that right now because of I am working right now. But in the near future, I see myself just a suitcase or just a backpack and go to places that I haven't seen. I have a list of places that I want to visit. I want to walk in specific places that I need to go there. I dream of seeing the pyramids. I have a very it's calling out to me. It's been calling out to me more and more, and because of my dreams. But I cannot enforce enough how important it is for us to have construct a not a pattern, like a map for your life with the word intention at the top. My intentions for my life. And yes, you may choose to have the path that's less walked like me, but it's okay. But I gotta tell you, the more that you invest in you with your ideas and your ideals, you're going to attract those type of people into your life. I know that the world right now is sad, and there's many things that are happening, and I don't like to bask into all of the negativity and the sadness of it, but I do see it. In fact, I've had some of it really close. I will not mention names, but I know of people that are going through such a difficult and challenging times. One, their young child took their life. He was barely 15 because of boyfriend and girlfriend problems. A 15-year-old should not have to worry about a boyfriend or a girlfriend. People are too consumed with their phones. There's many things that are wrong right now. I have yet to see in a restaurant, because I'm an observer, a person that's actually having a meal with another and speaking to each other, having a conversation, conversing about life, laughing. No, people are eating and looking at their phone, and the phone is there, and the other one is doing the same. You look across, the other one is on the phone. Over there with their phone. Everyone. What happened? What happened to the art of life? What happened to writing letters about expressing your heart's feelings? No, a text. Oh, he ghosted me, this and that. I've mentioned that to you people before. Yes, I myself use the telephone. I usually to get information and to listen to music because that's one of my favorite things to do. And I've taught myself the tarot. I love to do the tarot, but I don't do it for anybody. Just I've been doing it for many years, but I've studied the tarot and I was fascinated by it and all the archetypes, and it opened up a whole new world for me. And I used to think that that was evil because that's what I was taught, that that was evil. But it's not. Like astrology is not evil. Like looking at the stars is not evil. And then in the middle of the night, I do those things. And there are many things that on this path, on this journey, I've learned that I was told something and then truth was shown to me. Life itself shows you. You yourself begin to see what you want to accept, what works for you, what you want to have to work for you. What do you want to accept? It's all about what you want, how you feel, how you interact with others, and how this life is helping you become the best version of yourself, because that's why we're here, to gain wisdom and have discernment and have joy and live in a world where people can trust each other. I am sad. Well, actually, I'm not sad because it doesn't. It's the condition of the world, because the world is in a condition like a sickness, and those things can be removed, but it can be removed by us. It takes one person at a time. There's a country that I know of. You cannot leave your shoes outside. Someone will walk over and steal them from you. You hang up a pair of pants and you better be there right outside waiting for them to dry, because someone will surely jump over and take them from you. Unfortunately, the condition of the world is such. But I have to tell you, I can tell you that I think I mentioned to you once, I had just barely paid. I finished paying this little car I had. It was just a little Jeep. And I had the title in the car, and I had been called at the hospital to be there at a certain time. The midwives needed me, and I was in a hurry, so I left my other job, ran, because in those times we had pagers. I had a pager. So I had to call to the hospital, so they were waiting for me. And so I was in such a hurry, and I just gone to the bank. I cashed my check, stuck it in my purse. Anyway, I went to the hospital, and I was in the room there, and I put the stuff in my closet. And then when I came out, I thought, what would I do with my purse? Where's my purse? It wasn't in the locker. So I hurried to the parking lot, and there were hundreds of cars everywhere. So I looked, and I ran and looked and found my car. Lo and behold, the window was open this much. The car was unlocked. My purse was right behind the chair where you sit in the front, and it was opened, and I could see the $100 bills. I think I had like $900. My money was there. The title was there. The car was there. Everything was there. That's my experience. I'm being shown more and more and more and more where your mind is, where your heart is. I think it was Allen something. As a man thinketh, so is he. James Allen. As a man thinketh, so is he. So, because I choose to think beautiful things for me, I think them also for others, and I bless others, and I wish that other people will experience beautiful things as well. But you have to understand that there has to be, we all have to provide, we all have to add our little seed to make this dough to grow. We are all a minuscule part of the yeast to create this bread so it can rise up and it can be a beautiful bread that we can all eat. Music, people, music. Oh, what can I tell you about music? I'll start crying. Music, she's my muse, besides my Pachamama. But music, it gives me ideas. Music gives me energy. And sometimes when I've gotten low in my energy, I think, I gotta listen to something. And I have a vast library of music because I like all kinds of music. There's some specific music that I don't like, but I know what I like. I like from tango. I love music from Russia. I love music from Iran. I love Chinese and Japanese music. I love the Gypsy Kings. I love boleros. I love sambas from South America. I love hard rock. I love alternative. I like a little bit of country. And every other, and then all the beautiful guitar, the strings, harps, everything, and the beautiful composers, Mozart, Franz Liszt, Beethoven, just all of them, Smetana, all of them. I mean, there are hundreds in my mind. And she inspires me to reconstruct my life. If something falls apart, sometimes it does. Sometimes things don't turn out the way you expect, but that's because our Maker, our Father, He, at least for me, He watches over me, and sometimes things don't work out that way because that's not for my best, for my benefit. So He gives me something better. He replaces that with something better for me. Being in a state of awareness, intentionally aware of your life, where it's going. If you're going through a breakage of a relationship, that relationship is breaking because it's supposed to. Don't hang on to it. For there are other things that God has for you. And that relationship helped you. It was catalyst for your awakening to new ideas, to new people, and everything is about you. What it brings for you. What did you learn from that? Did you learn about boundaries? Did you learn about self-love? I mean, I'm sure, because I can only speak for myself. I learned volumes about me throughout all the pain that I've gone in the past. And then one day I thought to myself, I am not shedding a fucking tear for no one else ever again. Because I practically created my own ocean. And I thought, what a waste. But not anymore. I don't think like that. Because I think everything, there's a purpose with everything. And God, even my tears had purpose. Because those tears it was my soul breaking. And when I had the truth right here in my face, I didn't want to see it. And I am the type of a person that I get synchronicities and I have dreams over dreams over dreams. I've had a little bit of a difficult time the last little while and meditating. And I think I understand now why. And I must say that I am so pleased because I made the intention 2 days ago. I said, no, I'm not having this, because I meditate every day for years and years and years, a couple of times a day. I do both the silent meditation, and I can also go for a walk, and I can be in a room full of people and I can meditate. But it's intentional. And something was happening to me that it didn't work. So last night, 2 nights ago, I made this intention in my mind. I did it. And I know what happens when I meditate. I get received downloads. So I left my book, my notebook, to jot down with a pen what God would send me. And I was so pleased with the beautiful message that I received. And why? Because I intended it. I said, no, I'm changing this. My intention is this. So I was clear. This is what we need to do, people. You need to be clear and hear of what you want. You need to have expectations for yourself in your life, for your life. And live your life the best way you can. See fit what will make you happy. I'm gonna just tell you quickly, look at yourself in the mirror, have a good heart-to-heart conversation with yourself, and then say, from now on, I'm going to recreate my life. I will find the best new ideas. I will find the best intentions for me to create a whole new world for myself, and not be afraid. Release your fears and let them go. And if you are afraid of anything, if you have doubts, and write everything down. Write things down so that you can, the following day you'll feel different. And then you'll see why you feel different, because Spirit will show you. You will be guided to new beautiful things. Well, with that said, I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful autumn day, the end of the weekend, and tomorrow starts a new week. So I hope that you can find new intentions to make your life better and beautiful. Be grateful. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for yourself, for everything you enjoy. Your family, your work, the place that you live. Be grateful for everything. Be grateful that you're alive and you're breathing. Be grateful that you are a human being living in this world, having an experience, and you're not ill. You're not sitting in a wheelchair. And then even if you are, be grateful that you have legs. And if you don't have legs, be grateful that you have arms. And if you cannot see, be grateful that you can smell. Be grateful that you can open your mouth and eat. Be grateful for everything, for the minuscule, tiny things, and be grateful for the big things. Be grateful, be happy, be joyous. Bless your lives, and I bless your lives. I love you, my beautiful soul family.